Hi, welcome to the Gamesplainer. I'm Jeff the Gamesplainer, and today I'm gamesplaining the alphabet. So, because we are currently in lockdown, and I'm very aware that the entire world is probably aware that everyone is pretty closely in lockdown or half lockdown or semi-lockdown or something to that effect, I decided to play through my game selection according to the alphabet. That did a couple of really cool things. Firstly, I was only able to play against my wife, so every game was played as a two-player game. What it also did is it forced me to look into various positions of my collection that I don't always go to. So I wasn't able to just go to, the absolute newest thing, I've got to get a video done of this, I'll do a play of this and play of this and play of this. No, we're able to look back on some of the slightly older games. This is my alphabet of games. So I'll just run through a couple of them. I won't talk about all of them, but first thing to notice is that there are three of the Vita Lasata games: the Gallerist, On Mars, and Escape Plan. On Mars has not had a Gamesplainer, the other two have. I really enjoyed all three of these games. On Mars was definitely not my wife's favourite game because she just simply doesn't like space games. You'll notice there's not very many space games in here. The one other major space game is one I'll talk about in a second, and she really disliked that as well. But On Mars, not a hugest fan of that from my wife's perspective. I quite enjoyed the game. I quite enjoyed what was happening and how manipulations of different things push you in different directions. And it's a really cool game. I will try to get a explanation of that up relatively quickly. It's been on my shelf for a while and been one of those games that's kind of sitting there going, you gotta play me, you gotta play me, you gotta play me. And the rulebook's been sitting there for ages. Doing this alphabet in games forced me to play that game. Other games that have been forced on me: Lorenzo. Once again, it's a rulebook that was sitting there for ages. Because I was going through the alphabet, I thought, this is a chance for me to get these games played so that I can get game explanations done of them. I have a few games up on my shelf that have been played and need game explanations done of them, but didn't fall into this list here simply because there were multiples of the same letter. But wherever possible, I was able to pull out a few new games that I hadn't played before and I'd been putting off playing for various reasons, usually because the rulebook's really hard to read and to get through. But I managed to get through it, managed to get them to the table. And I actually quite liked Lorenzo. You will see a video of Lorenzo and the card version of that coming up relatively soon in my Gamesplay. Someone asked me about Lorenzo late last year. And I said, yeah, it's sitting on my shelf. I'll get to it real soon. It's taken me a really long time to it. So whoever that was, I do apologise that this takes so long, but I guarantee it's still on my list. It's going to get there. Because I now have a copy of the card game, I'll do both of them one week following the other. So we'll get a chance to feel both of them next to each other and see what their what influence they have on each other and all that type of stuff. Other things that I need to pull out of this is XCOM. I really hated it. I hated it simply because it was a struggle to get through. And this is a different game to all the other games simply because, number one, it's a cooperative game, but in order to play that, you need to have an iPhone, which is fine. I don't mind using an iPhone or whatever for the game. But the problem is that the rules book in that box is 2 pages. It's really short, really small. You need to read the rules on the iPhone to actually understand what's going on. My instinct on the game overall is that you need to play the game with other people who know how to play the game, because you lose a heck of a lot of time, and because there's a major time component, a heck of a lot of time with the thinking and the reading and the understanding of what's going on, let alone the actual playing of the game. I think that's a really important thing to understand with games like that. XCOM, I have another couple of games that are similar to that really require everyone at the table to know what they're doing before they play it in order to understand the game. But the problem is, if you don't have anyone at the table who understands it, you're going to lose a lot until everyone kind of gets a feel for what they're doing. And in the current climate, I don't know if I'm able to actually invest enough time. So I don't expect that XCOM will get back to the table. That's just the way I play and my current feelings on it. Other players may really love this game, and that's okay. You're allowed to love XCOM. I just think that you need to have someone who knows what they're doing to enable that to move forward. Other games that are worth a mention, Pipeline. Pipeline is once again one of those games that was sitting on my shelf for a really, really long time waiting for me to get a Gamesplaination done of it. I used this opportunity to get just one final playthrough before I actually did the Gamesplaination. The reason for that is the rulebook on Pipeline is not great. Once you play it and you have played it and you understand what you're doing, it's fine, but there's things in the rules that kind of don't quite make 100% sense. With particular notice on the final cards or the final scoring, the phraseology, I guess, of, oh, this card just does the same as that, but it's different words. It doesn't quite make sense to me. So I just want to get an extra play of it before I got the video done of Pipeline, simply because I wanted it to sit more comfortably, and I think that this did. The actual playing of it sat more comfortably. I did lose. That's something very worthwhile noticing. With this pile of games, my wife won half of them. Now, if you've been following my Instagram, you will have noticed that every time my wife wins, I'll have a little hashtag that says Jules won a game. That's been going for a lot of years now, probably 3-4 years now, and it is yet to hit 100. Now, I'm probably playing on average approximately 600 games each year. So you can see where the problem is. Playing this way, Jules won half of them. She had a really good run of that, and I was really happy to see her win the number of games that she won. I don't feel dismayed at all. In fact, having her win a lot of games gave courage and confidence to what she was doing, and gave me courage and confidence that I could play to my utmost, which I generally do anyway, without feeling like I was just absolutely trouncing her. There were a few games that I did absolutely trounce her in because she just didn't quite grasp stuff. So Quadropolis was one of them. On Mars, as I said earlier, was one of them. From memory, that is. The others were kind of push and pull. Escape Plan, I should have won that, but I didn't. I think I spoke about that in the top 10 for last month, that I should have won, but because I was second out of the city, it was going to cost me 10 money. I didn't have the 10 money, so therefore I lost. Little rules like that, that's fine. I'm happy with that. I think she even won the Gallerist, which is one of my really all-time favourite games. I really love the Gallerist, and I usually win the Gallerist. Not that I'm a special player or anything like that, but I usually do beat her at that. She won that, I'm pretty sure, and there's a real niceness to having her win games. I really actually enjoyed that. Other things to mention: Caylus 1303, that's the newer version of Caylus, which was my first video. I've just done a Gamesplainer of that within the last month or two to kind of get a feel for the two games. And look, I quite enjoyed that. It's a lighter version of Caylus, is really the long and short of it. Other games on the list: Underwater Cities is a game that has been sitting on my shelf and has wanted to be played, simply because I remember this just being a really good game. I really enjoyed playing it. My wife really enjoyed playing it, and getting it to the table was struggling just because of so many new games coming in. We got it back to the table because of playing the alphabet. Underwater Cities, really, really wonderful little game. We did play with the alternate version, which is the other side of the boards, and that gives a little bit of extra nuance to how you think about stuff, because you've got to pay to put the buildings there, and sometimes you'll actually get 2 or 3 times the multiplier of the income of that building. So having that kind of push and pull of how to build stuff is really important, and a really good thing. I actually really enjoyed that, and also there was a few extra cards that are kind of expansion-ish within that box, that you're the first person to get to having this many of this thing is going to get you those cards. Other than that, you'll notice there's an awful lot of Days of Wonder games on here. I actually tend to play the Days of Wonder games, do a video, and then just push them to the side, because it's kind of, they're almost filler, but they're a little bit heavier than filler. It was really nice to pull them back out, to have a go at 5 Tribes again, or Deep Blue. Quadropolis is another one. Those types of games, they're just light enough to to allow a movement through the game relatively quickly, but with enough weight for you to have to think about something. And I really appreciate that out of Days of Wonder Games. I suggest that you all have a look at their games to get a feel for them, to get is this going to work? Now on that, Railroad Revolution and Nippon, both of them are from What's Your Game. And What's Your Game, there seems to be this, just depending where this tile is going to change the meaning of. There's a lot of kind of intricate movement within their game systems. Like, I really like their systems, don't misunderstand me. But there's a really intricate movement within there that when you first get to the table, there's an awful amount of stuff to take in to go, okay, what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? Having your head around all that stuff is actually really tough sometimes. The actual play of it is take a thing, put it on, and do the stuff. But knowing what the stuff is for each of those games is a really important one to understand and to know and to remember. And while I'm on that, Viticulture and Wingspan, both Stonemaier games, both really fun games to play. I think that I definitely lost Viticulture. I think I might have lost Wingspan as well. I have no problem with that. The way of playing, there's something that comes with each of the companies, or at least with these companies I'm talking about, and the Vitalisadas as well, Eagle Griffin, that they feel like they belong to that company, or they feel like they belong to that designer. Stonemaier games, they feel like Stonemaier games. There's not a heap of rule set to those ones, but they play really well, and there's a lot of thinkiness going on within the overall playing of it. So look, I think that's probably enough from my alphabet in games. I may or may not play this again. I have already ordered a replacement for XCOM, simply another X game. I think it was XNIMT, which is a quick game, and I'm pretty sure that next time I do this, and I'm pretty sure I will do this again, XCOM will not find its way back into this game. I'm pretty sure Quadropolis will be changed out for something else as well. But other than that, I think that this is a fairly solid list. What I've got to be very aware of is the only Z game I have, Zombie Dice. I'm not that into zombies, let's be honest about it. Zombies on TV, Walking Dead, great. Zombies in games, I don't know, I'm just not, meh. So that's the only Z game I've got, that was the only X game I've got. I've now got a second one, and Yamatai was my only Y game. Other than that, I had choices on all of them. Oh, and Underwater Cities is my only U. Other than that, I had choices on all of them to which games to put in, so you can expect those ones to come back up again. The others, I will try to play something different next time they come through to kind of just change up my list of games. But I find that doing it this way put me into a position of having to play games I haven't played for a while. And I really, really enjoyed that and appreciate that. Look, I'll leave it there. If you have any comments or suggestions, please write them below. If you have any games you would like to be Gamesplained, please shoot me an email to thegamesplainer@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter @thegamesplainer to keep up to date with the games that I'm playing. Subscribe to my videos to keep up to date with the games that I'm gamesplaining. And until next time, enjoy gaming.